Emotions
Mhm.
are really important. Like, I know that there's a lot of gaslighting that happens in society, and it seems like they're not important, right? I mean, especially American society, it's just like produce, 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 think, resolve. Don't sit with, though, because that's inconvenient, right? That's just detracting from your productivity, right?
The biggest gaslight in our culture is that we can do things emotionless. Like that Dr. Spock can actually exist, you know? Like it's not possible to do anything without emotion. So if we think that we're just being logical and rational, no, son, you're not. No, you're not.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Orgasms, Wisdom, and Love podcast, the OWL podcast. We're your hosts, Itiyopiya and Magnolia. Good to see you again. So we've been
Yep,
talking,
yep.
yep, yep. So we've been talking a little bit about a bunch of different things in our previous episodes, talking a lot about some triggering topics, honestly, right? Pretty deep dives there. And our goal is to help you bring self-awareness, but we also don't want to trigger you to the point where like you're fully dissociated or anything like that. So this episode's dedicated to talking a little bit about what you can do, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Because a lot of things are out of our control, but we, as we get to know ourselves, master our traumas, things like that, then we can have more of a sense of agency about ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Mastery over ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say like I know the words regulating, regulation, control for me with the nervous system. I'm always like, oh, it feels so constricting. And what I like to do is like what I want from my nervous system is for it to have flexibility, like a buoyancy, that like it can go down, but it can come back up instead of being slammed or pinned into constant states of fight, flight, or freeze.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And so this episode is applicable to everybody, even people who are neurodivergent, that it's applicable, right? Over
Yep.
time. Yes. Good. Yes, yes.
Yeah. I'm
All right.
laughing because I'm like like a friend and I were talking. I'm like, man, I want to know who's not neurodivergent at this point. Who doesn't have ADHD at this point?
Yeah.
So many of us.
Or complex PTSD even, right? I mean, there's plenty of people out there who think they don't, but it's like, I don't know. So, anyways, fair points.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So yeah, we're talking a little bit about coping skills, which I know can sound really boring. I didn't used to love to teach them now. It's not so bad. I do a little bit more DBT these days, and I like that. It's a lot of flexibility within that. But let's talk a little bit about the brain, right? So there's a few different parts of the brain. Let's pretend this is your spinal cord, right? Then you have your brain stem, which that's just like blood pressure, keep me alive, keep me breathing, that kind of thing, digestion. And then here in the middle, we have parts that help us be emotional, help us relate to other people, right? Help us connect. And then over here at the top, we have our thinking and planning parts of the brain. So when we're fully regulated and breathing, we're like this. We have access to all parts of our brain. We have blood flow everywhere. Then we start to get dysregulated, and then we're operating off of the brainstem. That's if we have that flexibility, we can always bring it back, right, online. But sometimes we just go boop, just because things are so stressful or our nervous systems are the way they are. That's fine, right? Other important things to know are there are some systems that are responsible for fear, actually, the amygdala. And there's also centers that are responsible for emotions, like the limbic system, right? Emotions
Mhm.
are really important. Like, I know that there's a lot of gaslighting that happens in society, and it seems like they're not important, right? I mean, especially American society, it's just like produce, 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 think, resolve. Don't sit with, though, because that's inconvenient, right? That's just detracting from your productivity, right? And so, I mean, it's important enough that our brains have structures for it. So there's that. Then, um, just general medicine is like connecting the top and bottom of your brain, right? Or even connecting your head to your body, your head to your heart. That's really helpful. And then connecting the left and the right sides of your brain. So anything that's going to be connecting the top and bottom or the left and right are really helpful. Again, kind of like if you have help professionally, that's optimal. Sometimes we don't have access to that. Cool. There's resources on that about like how to connect that. This is one here. But ideally, if you can get someone to walk you through it, that's helpful because if your body is disconnected here, left and right, or up and down, right, then there's a reason for that. And it's your body adapting to all the stressors that are happening around you. Yeah, walk us through different tools that we can incorporate to help ourselves, Ethiopia.
Yeah, so awareness, which is a part of mindfulness, is one of the best ways to reconnect. So there's a couple of things before I jump into that, right? I think the biggest gaslight in our culture is that we can do things emotionless. Like that Dr. Spock can actually exist, you know? Like it's not possible to do anything without emotion. There will be emotion influencing everything that we do. So when we dismiss people and say, "Oh, you're so emotional," and like, "Oh, I'm doing it logical and rational," like there's emotion in everything, like because there are different emotions. So like whatever you're thinking will produce some feeling, the feeling will bring some emotion, and there's the action.
Yeah.
Just that's just how it is. And so like I want for folks to be more comfortable being with emotion because everything we do is guided by some emotion. So if we think that we're just being logical and rational, no, son, you're not. No, you're not. There's no way. It's all connected. The dichotomy of like the brain and the body, like it's all one thing. So just putting that out there before we engage in some useful resources to allow us to be more present with ourselves and our emotions. So again, um, the breath. And so what I like for folks to also know is that again, the breath can be something that is activating, and that can end up bringing even more intense feeling, or it can be something that it can soothe and to calm. And so like knowing when to play those two types of breath is important. When we are dealing with feeling a lot of emotion, feeling very activated, maybe even being in a place of like, there's so much going on in my mind now that I feel stuck. I can't move. That is a really good time to check in with the breath slowly. And I'm a person that likes from what I've learned, it's like breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the nose and extending the exhale as long as possible
Yeah.
without gasping. So it would be something like breathing in, out,
Yeah.
and then not gasping, like really just clearing out the lungs gently. And here's the thing, I'm in practice with this, so I can hold the exhale can go for a long time for me. Do what feels right for your body. Because if you start to gasp, you're not going to feel relaxed, right? Your body's like, whoa, danger. So, like, really just start gently, start slowly, and breathing in through the nose, exhaling out of the nose, and extending the exhale as long as possible for you. This helps to, um, it helps your nervous system to find resource, to feel more safe. It allows you to have greater awareness because you're focusing on the breath. So that thereby like getting out of the mind, getting out of the rumination, the constant thinking, and just do it as much as you'd like. So that's one of the easiest things that you can do. You can take it anywhere. It doesn't require anything. You can do it when you're driving, you can do it while you're reading. You like
Yeah.
there's nothing extra for you right there. Magnolia?
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that and say that emotion is energy in motion. And so you could use your breath in various ways. One is, yeah, purposefully deepen your breath. Then you can also just bring awareness. Where is my energy right now? Where are my emotions right now? I'm panting. I'm not breathing. I'm breathing really shallowly. Okay, cool. So what does that mean? I'm a bad person and no, I can't handle stress. And yeah, you could tell yourself that story. You could also say, I'm going through some stuff right now. Cool. That's good. You're acknowledging and attuning to your body. We love that, right? So you're gasping and you can't access that full breath. That's cool. Start slowly. Start where you are and then work your way there, right? Even if you don't get to the deep breaths, that's cool. You're still making some kind of progress as you move along that way. Also, to activate because you're stuck and things like that. If you're stuck, there's so much going on that your body shuts down and you're stuck. But to activate, you could do quicker breaths, right? Or that kind of thing. Like you induce the panting in some ways. We want to be mindful with those because we don't want to fully like get dizzy or pass out or anything like that. So just be mindful, right? Take a couple breaths, come back, go deeper, etc. But lots of different ways to play with that, right? Again,
Mhm.
always accessible to you, absolutely. Yeah.
Take a couple breaths, check in, check in,
Check
check in. We haven't been
in.
taught to check in.
Check
Check in with our bodies. What am I desiring right now? And yeah, like real talk, because our culture is a culture of pushing and pushing and pushing the body, because the body is a means of production. Right? Our culture is the body is seen as a means of production. So, like, of course, it's gonna be like pushing, 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 pushing the body, checking in at times just to say, hey, what is it that I am sensing into here? What is happening here? Sometimes that can be enough to like also get like your nervous system is like, thank you and give you some space. Now, of course, it is practice. I know our culture is also very much like one shot, one pill, fast, like that kind of thing. It's like it does require practice. And at the same time, it's like whenever you can, as you can, it doesn't have to be anything that turns into another way of shaming or beating yourself up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good, good, good. Um, Anything that brings the left and the right parts of the body together is helpful, right? Clapping, drumming, bilateral drawing. Bilateral means both sides, right? So drawing with both hands, anything like that. Painting with both hands, walking, you're moving both legs, both feet, yoga, weightlifting, right? Especially if you're like curling or anything like that, or pressing, you're still using both sides of your body. Even it could be little things, like let's say just incorporate your second hand to whatever it is that you're doing, right? And if you don't have hands, arms, cool. Where it would, should, or could be, just intend that energy's there, right? So like you're cooking, that's cool. Maybe you're mixing this bowl. Can I just mix with the other hand right now too? Yeah, cool. Then you're connecting your hemispheres together, two different parts of your brain. Little
Hmm.
things. Doesn't have to be extra big because if you go big, you go hard all at once, that's not sustainable. So just find it where you are.
Find it where you are. Yeah. Meeting yourself where you are. That's one of the things that I was taught many, many years ago is like just kind of tapping right here. And it was about stimulating the thymus gland. The thymus gland has a lot to do with the immune system. And as the thymus gland like gets stimulated, it sends signals of safety to the nervous system. So just lightly tapping. And as as you were talking about bilateral, I was like, oh yeah, that's bilateral too. Because it's taking in both the left and the right sides. So those that is another little thing that you can do to support your nervous system.
And for those who aren't watching the video itself, she was tapping to the left and the right of kind of where her heart space would be, like if we were talking about just the center of her chest type of thing,
Hmm.
to the left and to the right of that. And so another way we could stimulate, and this would be stimulating the heart, right, would be along that same area where there's like a little hole here at the center of your chest, just tapping with your fingers to either side of it, stimulating your heart space. And that could be when you're feeling really, really down, really, really sad, right? You could do that, or it could even be used to like bring awareness to this moment. Where am I? Where's my heart? I'm in the middle of a panic attack. Okay, great. What can I just ground and feel this touch between my fingers and my chest?
Hmm. Yeah. Thanks for bringing up the panic attack because it is so prevalent. Panic attacks are so prevalent. I hear about them every week. There's numerous panic attacks. And the panic attack is literally being focused on something that is not happening in the now. You're feeling something in the now, but where your mind is usually not the now. So getting yourself into the now is also a really important piece of really adding to the resource and flexibility, the buoyancy of your nervous system, getting into the now, like really checking in. And if you can, look around. And if you can, like just feel the air on your skin. If you can, feel your connection with your seat or your feet connecting with the ground. Like those things allow you to be in the now and less in a place that doesn't exist or was in the past that is bringing up very real feelings for you in the present. So just matching the mind with what is happening with the body, being present in both realms.
Definitely. And to me, that's connecting a little bit of that top down or up down, right?
Yep.
Brain with
Yep.
the body. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Anything that'll bring you into the moment, right? I mean, even just like hopping on one leg, that's gonna force you to like pay attention so that you don't fall, right? So little things like that too can be helpful. Um, Singing too, especially if you're like paying attention, that could be really helpful too. I mean, your neck, your throat is where things connect for you, right? It connects your heart. I'm sorry, your head and your body. So things like that. Even just neck exercises. I mean, if you can, right? Not medical advice, but just saying. You could do neck
Mhm.
stretches and things like that with the intention. Intention really goes a long way, right?
Yeah, I love that. Intention goes a long way because when we're being conditioned to not take care of yourself, to not check in, to not notice what your needs are, or to dismiss your needs, then the antidote is to check in. The antidote is the intention of being like, oh, I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna at least acknowledge what my needs are instead of just fully dismissing my needs. I think that that's a very, very important piece of it as well because there's something around like having to be perfect with everything that I know comes up for me. That if I am gonna start doing breaths, well, I want to make sure that I'm doing the breaths, 5 times a day or every single time that, I feel nervous or anxious, like every single time. And when it doesn't play out that way, then I get back into the cycle of shame. I didn't do it right. I must not care about myself. Like whatever the story is. And so having the intention and moving and being reminded of that intention, maybe having an accountability partner if possible. Um, but just having that intention and being aligned with the intention more than not creates such an opportunity for change. I think that's really important. Thank you for acknowledging the intention of it.
Of course. Of course. Let's see.
Okay.
And yeah, like take it little by little, along with the perfectionist piece, like same. And the only thing that works is just to notice it. Oh, I'm feeling shame. Again, like shame is just, it is really hard to articulate sometimes and it's really hard to notice. But basically, anytime you're so dysregulated thinking about yourself, anytime you're judging yourself, right? Negatively or like hurting your own feelings, that's shame. I'm bad. That's shame, right? So if you're like, okay, cool, I'm breathing, I'm trying that thing Ethiopia said, like, cool, great, right? ET with the hard T, right? ET with, it's a joke. It's like, right?
Yes,
Ethiopia, not Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, see, self-regulating here. Cool. Jokes on it too. And so, yeah, we're noticing the judgment, the perfectionism, this and that. I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do anything. Cool. Oh, I'm in a shame spiral. Yes. Breathe through it, acknowledge it. Let it sit, you know? If you try to stuff it down, that's how we get chronic illness, that's how we get autoimmune disease, things like that. That's how bodies store trauma and attack themselves, right? So just the more we can sit with whatever your body is telling you, whatever the stories are there that want to be seen, the better. That's why it is really helpful to get that professional help when possible, right? Again, if you can't, cool. Here's some tips that you can do in the meantime. I think there's some words that you wanted to say.
I think I'm feeling pretty complete here. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 I mean, just, yeah, take care of yourselves as best you can, right? Baby steps. You can do this. We're here to cheer you on. We're here to provide support as best we can in a really indirect, one directional relationship, right? But we're here. We're here for it. And so, thank you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.